Okay. I don't even know why I just came in with all that energy and I had nothing to say. WUCEWURP, right, is a acronym I have come up with for what you chase escapes and what you resist persists. I did not come up with this philosophy. All right, I'm new to manifestation as a whole. If you want to give credit to anybody, give it to Young Dawn, the Sauce God. Young Dawn Reacts. You know, that's his new shit. He's posting very frequently. That's the person that I got this way of thinking from. But it is a very effective way of going through life in anything that you do, right? What you chase escapes and what you resist persists. Now, why is this so important? Why do I hold this mindset with such high regard? Well, I'm glad you asked. WUCEWURP, or I'm just gonna keep on saying it to get it in your head. WUCEWURP, WUCEWURP, WUCEWURP. When you chase escapes, when you resist persists. I think it's pretty clever. I think it sounds cool. WUCEWURP. It's WUCEWURP, 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 WUCEWURP. That's gonna get stuck in your head now. I guarantee it. Even if I don't say it for the rest of the video, it's now just stuck in your head. WUCEWURP. You're gonna remember that forever now, right? But anywho. WUCEWURP, what you chase escapes, what you resist persists. The reason I hold it to such high regard is because it just, at its core, right? When you think about what it means, right? What you chase escapes, what you resist persists. Okay, if you're ever chasing after anything, you should know that most of the time it's gonna escape your grasp. You're going to realize you're trying too hard. You're going to realize you're starting to take shortcuts. You're getting sloppy. And by the time you're there, you know, whatever you're chasing after doesn't want you. Because look at what you did just to get to that point. Now you're slipping up and you're fucked up all because of something that you were chasing so desperately and sloppily and honestly grotesquely for. Just for it to pass you up, right? Or because you chase. You could have taken it slow. You could have just, okay, let's take our time. Let's get ourselves together. You know, make sure we're well groomed and well taken care of, and that we're not taking shortcuts, and that we're doing everything at our own pace. We're not rushing for anyone, right? And we're doing things in a way that we can sustain and preserve, right? And now look, it's there, right? Think about any time you were late to work, right? And you know you're late to work, and you rush, and you're doing everything in your power to get to work as quickly as possible, right? You're speeding through the street just to get to work, and now you're still 30 minutes late, and you've ran through 3 red lights. Maybe you got a ticket. Maybe you were even later than you should have been because you were so stressed about getting there on time, right? When you could have just taken your time, you know, you get up like, okay, shit, I'm late, right? Bask in it. You're late. There's nothing you can do, okay? So fucking sack it up, get up, and just fucking go through your day, right? Because now you're late, you're letting it affect your mind state, you're letting it affect your mental, and now you're fucking up now at work, right? Chasing after anything in your life is going to set you back miles, and you won't even notice it, right? Your cortisol is spiking and all type of shit, right? But this is also on the opposite spectrum as well. You never want too much of anything, right? When you resist, persist. Okay, so anything that you explicitly are trying to turn away and trying to outwardly just show you don't want it, it's gonna keep coming after you and keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back because you keep giving it energy. You keep showing it that it can affect you. And so the universe gives it to you because you keep pouring energy into it. Anything you pour energy into, the world is gonna give you more of that. Okay? So you pour endless amounts of energy into fucking trying to get something to stop or get someone to stop. Maybe texting you, maybe contacting you, maybe, you know, whatever the case may be, right? Maybe someone's berating you. You know, who knows? And you're pouring energy into it. Maybe it's a hate comment on a video of yours. Maybe it's just a hater in general. And you keep feeding into their bullshit and feeding into the hate. And so you receive more of it because they realize that it gets to you. Okay? And you can't let that happen. Because once they see that it gets to you, once they see that blood in the water, it's not gonna stop. And now, because you let it get to you one time, right? You've now opened up the floodgates for them to endlessly attack until they're bored. Not until you have set the standard to where they are like, okay, like he doesn't care. No, until they just get bored, right? But if you from the jump just say, okay, I mean, it's hate, whatever, you don't respond to it, you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna stop. Because what does a hater want? They want attention. That's all they want. All they want is for you to get mad. All they want is a reaction. Think about Los Polos TV. You ever watch Los Polos TV? Right? And he's a very hilarious guy. He's very funny. I love watching Los. You feel me? I'm sure nobody's really a hater of Los, but as you watch him, I mean, maybe he plays into it. I'm sure he probably does a little bit, right? He's Los. He's been in the game for a while. I'm sure he knows how to, you know, farm engagement or whatever the case may be. But maybe sometimes it does get to him a little bit, right? When people say Los, you don't matter, or Los, or just Tubby. They just call him Tubby. They don't even call him his name. They say, hey, Chub Chub. Hey. I just had a brain fart. But you get the point though, right? And sometimes maybe it does get to him, but because he always has an outward reaction and such a overt rebuttal to whatever it is being said, people want more of that. They want more of a reaction. They want more. They want to get more. And so they say more and more outlandish things to get a rise out of him. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it may be a little bit off the rails. But he, regardless of whatever it is, he's still responding. They all know he's going to respond. And so it doesn't stop. There's no limit because it's never being ignored, right? So when you chase after anything, you get sloppy. And when you resist anything that you don't want, it's gonna be relentless. So how do you avoid these things? How do you avoid, just, not chasing after things and not like resisting things that keep happening in your life? Maybe, your boss is an asshole, right? And he keeps doing little things to just, pick at you. And it's hurting your performance, and you're chasing after maybe a little bit of validation from said boss, and now you're getting a double whammy. You're getting double fucked by two birds in one stone. You know how you kill two birds with one stone? The birds are killing you with one stone. The two birds are ganging up on you. They're not even using the stone. They're just fucking you. You don't even know. So I say all this to say that there's a solution to this. What is that solution? Just close your eyes, breathe, take a moment, and just ignore it. Go through your life and just do as you would have if the issue were not there. Think, okay, if I were not going to be late to work, how would I move? And then just move like that. And voila, now you may still be like 10 or 15 minutes late, but you won't be rushing through stop signs. You won't rush through, your morning routine. You'll still do your skincare. You'll still brush your teeth properly and fucking wash your body correctly so you don't smell like shit. You'll still do all the proper things that you typically would do on a day that you would get to work on time. and you'll just be a little bit late, right? But you'll be fashionably late. And that's far more respectable than being sloppily late. And now the same thing applies for the opposite end of things, okay? Imagine whatever it is you're trying to resist just wasn't an obstacle at all. Maybe your boss is nice to you, right? How would you react to them if daily they greet you with respect and they greet you, as simply as you want to be treated, right? Maybe someone wronged you, okay, and you hold spite for said person, okay? What would they have to do or say to get back into your good graces, right? If you know you cannot avoid them, like at least, right? This doesn't have to apply to everyone. Like you don't have to fucking make peace with any stranger or anybody that you just don't want in your life. That doesn't have to be in your life. This doesn't have to be the case for everything, but maybe it's a coworker, right? Maybe a classmate or whoever, right? Imagine they said sorry. Or imagine they suddenly started treating you more kinder, right? Not being, just nice, but kind, right? And they just treat you the way you would prefer to be treated, right? Imagine as though that were the case. How would you treat them in response? How would you act around them? How would your body, just naturally rest in their presence? Your body language. How would you just go through life? You'd be much more relaxed, and you'd be doing things with a lot more grace. You wouldn't be clumsy and And so this breeds respect, because now you're only trying to be better than and impress yourself, right? When that is your goal in life, nothing can stop you. If the only person you're trying to be better than or to impress or to upstand or whatever the case may be, if it's only you, if it's just you against you, and you know it's you against you, I just farted, I'm sorry. But anyway, if you know it's just you against you, then, and you go through life as that is the case, then things just get so much more simpler. I have to open up a window. Yeah, things just get far more easier for you in your life because you're not so worried about what everyone else wants from you, right? Maybe things in your life are so shit. Maybe you just are on the verge of losing everything. So, no, you're not. No, you're not. Even if you are, no, you're not. Because whatever you truly believe is the case, that is what it will be. You can't allow the external to determine what your life is. I may be homeless, but I am not of no home, right? Obviously, to get your attention and to, just grasp you and just grip you by the nuts and let you know, like, hey, this is what it is. I say, yeah, I'm homeless. I don't consider myself to not have a home. This is my home, right? It may not be the most stable home. I may want something better, but I don't go through life as though that's the case. At least not anymore. I don't go through my life and say, damn, I really wish I wasn't waking up in my car today. I wake up, instead, I'm like, all right, it's another day. Let's get to it and let's try and be better than we were yesterday, right? That's all you can do, and if you aren't, you recognize it, you rationalize it, and you understand it, and you see, okay, how can I avoid it next time, right? And it's that simple. WUCEWURP. Where you chase escapes and where you resist persists. If you try and resist a terrible reality, then it will persist in your life, and you will continue to have a terrible reality. If you view your life to be shit, your life will continue to be shit. But if you view it as something that's prosperous and that's virtuous and that's fruitful, and that the fruits of your labor will, blossom. When you start to go through life like that, the world will regurgitate that to you, because it only gives you more of what you actually want. Not what you think you want, but what you actually want. What you do day to day to get said thing that you are receiving, right? Anything you get in your life, you either deserve it or it's needed to get you to where you want to actually be. Not through what you say you want or what you think you want, but what your actions actually determine that you want and desire in this life. Think about maybe perhaps a woman, right? I'm in a relationship, but I can still speak on this because at a baseline I can understand it, right? And I can grasp it. Let's say you are maybe mean to a woman, right? But she keeps giving you attention and she keeps on, responding, right? And you're having banter with one another, right? But you're being mean to her and you're maybe treating her a little bit like, and she's like, oh, I really wish I just had a nice guy. Why is he treating me like shit? But she keeps coming back to you and coming back to you and coming back. Why do you think that is? When you resist persists, right? At the end of the day, she may be saying, and this is in like a toxic setting, right? She says she wants this, and she keeps on coming back to the toxic guy that treats her like shit, right? It's like that with all things. There is no good and there is no evil. There's only what people believe there is. If no one thought that evil existed, it wouldn't exist, right? If everyone had something, then that thing would not be it. If everyone viewed themselves to have infinite value, then no one would be valuable, right? It's so very simple, but we as humans, we like to complicate things because we like to add such nuance and we like to make ourselves feel better about why we may be in our certain situations. But when you really start to simplify it and you start to break things down to its core, that's when you actually start to improve in your life. That's when you actually start to weed out the weak points that you may have, right? Because at the end of the day, it may be simple, but that doesn't make it easy. But it does make it simple. It makes it simple to identify. It makes it simple to change. And it makes it simple to start, right? Doesn't make it easy to identify. Doesn't make it easy to change. And it doesn't make it easy to start, but it does simplify it. And that's all we can really ask for. And there's so many things in this life that fucking redirect our thought process and our trajectory and point us into all types of different directions that really lead us further away from our goal. It fucks you up in ways that you can't even explain, right? But WUCEWURP, it helps you explain it. When you chase escapes, when you resist persists. As with anything in life, in the gym, in your love life, in your work life, in anything, and even with this, right? When I was younger, I was chasing after YouTube success. Where did it get me? Right? Where did it get me? The chase. It didn't get me anywhere. Right? And anything like, I'm not gonna continue to reiterate the same points over and over. I think you get it by now. You're this deep into the video. I think you get it. Now, I'm not the most spiritual person out there. I'm not a soul Illuminati, but I damn sure am I'm very in support of the idea of manifestation. And my idea of it that helps a lot for me is that the universe only wants to give me what I actually want. Not what I say I want, not what I think I want, but what I actually want, right? Deeply what I actually want. And if I can identify what I actually deeply want in this life, I'm gonna get it. So long as I know I'm willing to do the things that it takes to get what I want. Because the world is gonna give it to me. It's in support of me. The world is not against me. It's not trying to give me impossible obstacles that I cannot cross. It's trying to give me obstacles that can improve me and help me see, okay, this is how you can handle and deal with these different situations that you come across, right? Everything in your life is built to help you be better than it the next time it may come around, right? Because you can't control everything. The only thing you can control is your mind. That's it, your mind. You can only control that. You can't even control your body. You can, to the best of your ability, you can try to stretch and work out, but shit, someday your body might just fuck up, right? You might just get sick. Who knows? You can't control anything in this life but your mindset. And if you can take control over that, complete control, you can get anything, bro. You can get anything. Why do you think evil people in the world have so much? Why do you think billionaires exist? Simple. Why do you think billionaires exist? We all know, everyone knows that billionaires are evil. Yet why do they hold so much power, right? It doesn't matter if you're a good person or if you're a bad person. What matters is that you believe that you deserve what you have. And if you believe that, then you're just going to continue to get more of it. It's that simple. As well as if you're willing to do the things that it takes to get what it is that you desire. And but I'm not going to stretch this video out too long. 22 minutes. I think that's good enough to get the point. And I gotta go to sleep soon, so yeah, that's about all I gotta say. Thank you for watching, and peace out, y'all.